Okay, so what I did here was this had Windows running on it previously, so for this walkthrough, I deleted out what was on there, and as you can see, it's a 1.1 terabyte partition, so we're going to split this up. I'm just going to create a new partition for the Hyper-V to sit on, and the remaining will be a data drive for the Hyper-V virtual machines to live on. Just so we can separate them out. You don't have to do it this way, but this is a very common way of doing it. Okay, at this point, this is where you would put your product key. Obviously, this is just a demo, so we don't have one. We're going to click down here that says do this later. We're going to create our initial administrator password. Okay. Okay, so from this point, I do a couple of things to start. I'll walk them through. So the first thing we're going to do is create that data drive that we're going to store the Hyper-V virtual machines on. So we'll go into disk management, and here we're going to take all the unallocated space and we're going to create a data drive. So we'll just use all of it. We'll call it the D drive. It's fine. And we're just going to call this data. You can call this whatever you want. Okay, and we're good. The other piece before we get into adding the Hyper-V role is the networks, the NICs, the network interfaces. So we're going to go to that and show you that I have two up already. All right, so in network and sharing, you'll see that there's two NICs I have connected, right? So in this tutorial, I'm going to use NIC 1 for the Hyper-V server. I'm going to use NIC 4 for the Hyper-V virtual switches. So just to throw that out there, that's what we're going to be using. In Server 2025, you can no longer use a single NIC. You have to use a separate NIC for the Hyper-V virtual machines, which is a good idea anyways. So I'm going to get this down. Let's add the role. So to add the Hyper-V role, we're going to go up here to Manage, add a role and feature. I'm going to hit Next. I'm going to hit Next. Next. And here is the tick box for Hyper-V. Add the feature. Okay, then we're going to hit Next, and Next, and Next. Okay, so here's what we were talking about before. The virtual machines require switches to communicate with other computers, right? So this is basically saying, hey, which NIC do you want us to use? So we're going to go for, you can do this here, or you can not do this here and create a virtual switch manually later, but for demonstration purposes today, we're going to use NIC 4 in the process. All right. So here you can leave it as default, the default file path. That is fine. For this demo, I'm going to separate them out. So you have default locations to the virtual hard disk, and the other one should be configuration files. So we're going to make two separate folders, one hard disk and the other one called config files. Again, you can leave it at default. You don't have to do that. It's just something I like to do. So we're just going to go new folder. I'll call this Hyper-V. And then within the Hyper-V folder, we're going to make those two new folders. We're going to call this config files. And the other one. Okay, now that those two are created, now we're just going to map them accordingly. So this is going to be the hard disk. So just go here, just go find it. V drive, hard disk, okay. Same thing, go find it. Data and config files. And okay. Okay, now they're separated out. If you follow the steps,